After I'd done the bunny ears, which were really original, I wanted some more headbands for my little girl, and I actually bought some from overseas. And it cost me an arm and a leg to purchase them. And when I got them, I was so disappointed that I looked at the product and went, oh my God, I can do this and I can make it so much better. And I think that is how a lot of like products are born. You get something and you go, wow, I can do this, but I can do it so much better.
Welcome back to the Ecom Unleashed podcast. Today I've got an e-commerce content legend with me. Welcome, Jess. How you going?
Hello. How are you? Woohoo!
Yeah. Pumped for today. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. You winning? How you going?
Yes, all good.
Awesome, exciting. Well, I'll give everyone a little bit of a background when it comes to Jess. So, welcome to our podcast. Jess is the founder of Bonnie Harlo, a beautiful kids clothing store that originated as a handmade headband and accessory shop. You can tell us a little bit more about that journey a little bit later on, but it was born out of your family living room in 2015. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well done.
Like ages ago now.
Yeah. Wow, yeah, it is now. Holy dooly. Since then, Bonnie Harlo has blossomed into a full-fledged lifestyle brand for children, providing an array of clothing options that celebrate the magic and playfulness of childhood. Jess is a skilled social media content creator, having almost exclusively grown her brand through organic Instagram posts and has amassed over 123,000 followers to date. We're thrilled to have Jess on today and hear her journey, insights, tips, and tricks on building a successful e-commerce business. Welcome, Jess.
Thanks. That sounded amazing.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's like so good. I feel like, oh wow, I'm so cool.
You are so cool. That's what I meant.
Like
So
a little boost.
yeah, awesome. Honestly, so I just met Jess recently. We got introed by my mum, which is hilarious.
So hilarious.
You need to meet this person. You need to meet Jess. She's amazing. So it turns out we're local and you have a really cool brand. And huge congrats. Like it's success from my end. Well done. This is going to be a different type of podcast, everybody. So I kind of wanted to make it a little bit of an interview and kind of interrogate Jess a little bit. Let's try and figure out what she's been through and what she might have struggled with along the way. And hopefully you can learn something from that. But then on the back end of this, we want to talk about, I guess, building a bit of a strategy and have a bit of a brainstorming session on the back end that hopefully I can help find and uncover some hidden opportunities in your business. Sound good?
I love it so much.
Awesome. Well, let's rewind first, Jess. What do we need to know about the life of Jess? Maybe like who you are, how you think, I guess specific events and the lead up of the birth of this brand.
Cool, yeah. Well, I can take you back to when it all started. I had 2 little boys at home and I was pregnant with my third, which was going to be a little girl. And so out of that, I was a stay-at-home mom. I obviously got a bit itchy feet because I like to be creative. And then one day when my little girl was born, I decided that I needed to make some things for her. And out of that, Bonnie Harlo was kind of born. And the first product I made were some bunny rabbit ears. It was Easter time and I wanted something specific for her, and I created these bunny ears that are pretty much everywhere now and so many stores do them, but when I made them they didn't exist. And yeah, and at the time a friend just turned to me and said, oh, you should sell these. And I was like, okay, why not? If I can sell 5 of them, who cares? It was just for fun. And then I ended up selling 30 of them and I had to hand make 30 of them. And I was like, oh my God, what have I got myself into? And then from that, it just kind of blossomed and bloomed into kids' headbands and accessories. And then we obviously have pivoted a little bit in the years. And now we do clothing and accessories.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well done.
So born from my kids, really, and being at home and having a bit of itchy feet to be creative.
I hear this story a lot with mums. However, a lot of them just don't make it. They really don't make it. And to be honest, like I would think it'd be close to 80, 90%. Having this kind of dream of I'm going to create this little thing that's I really want and I think other people will buy it. What are your superpowers? Why did it work for you? and it's not working for so many others?
Oh, I love that question. I would say personality has a lot to do with that. Super determined. I just love it so much. I think if you love something, you try to do it no matter what. And being so creative, that's what I love. And I guess like how you were saying at the end of this, we're going to talk about some strategies. And that's my downfall, is that business side of it. So I think the creative side has really helped me just keep going all the time because I love it so much.
Yeah. Awesome. Was it always like this? From the very start, were you like this?
Oh, yeah. I think I was. Hey, I thoroughly enjoy it. And I still do now. Like I love what I do. So that makes it really easy. But there's so many pieces of the business that are challenging and that I don't do very well. But I guess I try and focus on what I do well, and that helps me to keep going.
I really do see a lot of people start businesses from out of it. It can be out of a frustration place, I think, with mums, especially.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I do speak to them. It's not like I'm trying to just categorize mum category. I actually do speak to a lot of them. And yeah, they've created this product and it just kind of flops over. It doesn't, no one really wants it. But it seems like you've alluded to a story a little while ago. I got the cheat insider scoop.
Yeah, you totally.
Yeah, the other day when we were chatting. And you talked about that you were actually kind of solving your own problem as well when you first started. So you were looking for headbands and you were finding them elsewhere.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that a little bit.
After I'd done the bunny ears, which were really original, I wanted some more headbands for my little girl. And I actually bought some from overseas. And it cost me an arm and a leg to purchase them. And when I got them, I was so disappointed that I looked at the product and went, oh my God, I can do this and I can make it so much better. And I think that is how a lot of like products are born. You get something and you go, wow, I can do this, but I can do it so much better. And so that's kind of what happened when we went more into the headbands like way. And I don't know, I think that's what happens with a lot of mum businesses too. They get a product and they go, wow, this is useless, but I can make this and make it so much better. And I think that's just, I know people think like I have this day and age, there's a lot of like words thrown around like copying and things like this. And I'm like, business is based on doing something better than somebody else.
Yeah.
And you have to make it your own. And I think people forget that sometimes. And
I love the idea of stealing. That's what Steve Jobs says it. He goes, don't copy, steal.
Yeah.
Because stealing makes it your own. Yeah. Copying it's just you're not doing anything, really.
Exactly. You're just taking something.
And I actually, just stopping you there, I think you may feel like you've copied, but you did steal it. And
thanks.
But you made your own version and you used your creative flair, which is not what I see a lot of new businesses doing. They'll find a product and they'll be like, oh, I know where to find it cheap. I'm going to go find it cheap over there and I can sell the same product.
Yeah.
But it seems as though you've built this product just looking from the outside as if it's like your magic isn't on everything. You've got a story that you've added to everything. Yeah,
and I love that word magic because I use that a lot as well. Like a little bit of me is woven into each piece. And I definitely think that has helped me as well with social media as well. I don't have somebody else doing it for me. It's me. So they actually get me. Does that make sense? So as much as I'd love to have 50 million staff doing things for me, I don't think I ever am that kind of person that would allow it because I feel like my particular brand is made up so much of me that I have to be involved in everything. That's probably like a control freak kind of personality, isn't it?
Maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah, but, it's worked for you.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Like I put so much of myself into my business that you do get a little bit of me each time.
Yeah. And I do think that's the magic, some of the magic of Bonnie and Harlo. Like you're actually just not copying. You're like, okay, here's the thing. There's a million kids clothing brands out there. There's so many. What gives you the right to actually sell kids clothing brand as well? What's the magic that you're putting in? This is something I try to get people to think through other brands. Yeah. And just because you created it doesn't mean people are going to buy it. There needs to be reasons. There needs to be something else added to everything, every single product that you build.
Yeah, and I think that's the Jess love and care that goes into everything. That's that little magic of me that you do get, that I make sure, like from packaging, from getting your order, showing up on social media, you sliding into my DMs, you get to speak to actually me, or I'm replying to your emails, or, you know, packaging your order. Like, that's all these hands, this is me, my personality. And it's so funny because I feel like the customers that I have know me so well that they like chat to me about other things. Like, they'll send me a little DM and go, oh, Jess, I saw this at the shops and it's so you. And I'm like, wow, isn't that amazing that they know me so well that they can be like, oh, you should go and get this because this just screamed your name. I'm like, that's amazing. And I love that.
Are you actually packaging all the orders too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Holy.
I did have staff prior to COVID, but obviously we've cut back after COVID, like most businesses. So I'm back.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Yep. I'd love to know. I really do want to delve into that. I appreciate you being open and honest about the journey over the last 12 months, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, cool. That's awesome. We got a little bit of an insight. Who's Bonnie Harlo? What are you doing? Is there any other reason why people are buying your products over anyone else?
I hope that they're just loving our exclusive prints that we do as well. I work with a designer that helps with the patterns and the prints that we do. So I hope that people know that's exclusive to us. Like, they're not going to get, you know, there's not going to be 100 kids wearing the same shirt as them or the same dress as them, or it's definitely something that's a little bit unique and different. And I always talk about kids being little wildflowers, and they're all so different and unique, and I hope that my pieces embodies that for them.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Magic woven into every piece of clothing.
That's right.
Awesome. All right, let's jump into social media. So I feel like your social media game is quite strong. Like, you do know the platform, and things are changing, obviously, over the last 12 months. Let's talk about that. So what are the major traction points that you hit maybe in the past? What were you doing that just worked really well? And I guess maybe give us a bit of insight into what you were doing now that's working and not working the way it used to.
Yeah, when I first started, Instagram was definitely a different place to what it is now. And that has a lot of challenges for me relearning. I guess you're relearning the whole app kind of thing and how it works. But I think the number one thing for any Instagram business is to just show up. And whether that's you showing up or you getting your staff to show up every day is probably the most important. And I feel like if you build a community and you have people, I think also for kids brands, you have mums that are at home with their kids and they've got no one to talk to, but if you're showing up every day, they know that they can rely on you, you're going to be there kind of thing. Even though that sounds like really, oh, what's a kids fashion brand going to help a mum out? But you're there sharing your own struggles with them and you're being really raw and honest. I think that helps with your brand, and then that builds your social media too, and goes back to what Instagram was set up to be about, which was build a community. Build a community.
How do you do that? What tips and tricks can you give us?
I love telling people about my kids as well, like just sharing a little. There's definitely a fine line, and I try not to cross it ever, and it's really hard to know what that line is with social media, because you can definitely overshare and then that can turn people off you as well. But I have a couple of friends and they'll say to me, oh, such and such friend, I can't watch her on social media because she just acts like a different person. And then they'd say to me, but you look and act exactly how you are in real life. And so I love getting that feedback, because I'm like, I try not to be somebody else when I'm showing up, but I also don't want to show up and be negative. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I like to, if I'm not feeling great that day, I just won't show up, but you try and show up every day and be positive and happy and healthy, and people gravitate towards that and they want to hang out with you and they want to be a part of your community.
So get in front of the camera.
Yes,
right?
100%. And
in front of the camera.
And you can only get better at it the more you do it. So my tip is just to do it all the time, and it doesn't matter. Just remember, it disappears. It disappears. Or if you really hate it, you can delete it. So don't be scared to just try it and show up and just talk about whatever you love, and then hopefully somebody else loves it too, and then you just build that community that way.
Yeah, I love that you kind of went down the authenticity route. So I think one of the biggest mistakes brands make is they do try to be something that they're not.
Yeah.
And especially a founder, if they want to be in front of the camera, they're trying to they envision this version of themselves because they've been watching so many people through Instagram and like, oh, I've got to be like that person. I've got to talk the way they talk.
Yeah.
I've got to create stories the way they create stories. And the problem with that is you may actually pull it off once or twice.
Yeah.
But how do you do that over the long run? You can't be someone that you're not. You have to be who you are.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you could build like a huge following, I'm guessing, the way that you have.
I definitely think like I couldn't sustain not being myself. And there's probably people my least favorite saying in the world is fake it till you make it. Freaking hate that saying so much because I just think, what is the point of faking it and how is that making it? I'm just like, I don't understand that concept at all. Why can't you just be truly yourself? And then hopefully by doing what you love and being yourself, you can be successful that way. You can sleep well at night knowing that you were you.
I think some people don't have the confidence that you have as well. Yeah, just thinking that through too. Like I'm not a huge fan of fake it till you make it, but the truth is I have done it.
Yeah. Oh, I think everybody has to do it at some point, right?
Yeah, totally. Where did this confidence come from? Yeah, it feels like it comes out of you.
Really?
You just got it.
It's so
Yeah, it does.
I feel like I'm a good talker. I love talking and I love being social. So I think part of it's just my personality, that I'm really social and I love people. So that definitely helps. But it's funny because I wouldn't turn around and think that I'm a super confident person either. Isn't it funny?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah.
It seems like you're comfortable in who you are. That's probably, I'm guessing, that's how I feel. I'm like, okay, Jess seems like she's a comfortable person in who she is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Funny, isn't it?
If that's true or not.
I don't know. Maybe it's an age thing. I'm getting really old.
Maybe.
I don't know.
You're not getting old. Look at you. Oh, you're getting younger.
I think also because I love what I do and we're talking about what I love to do, that just oozes out of me really easily. I think if we were talking about something that wasn't me, then I probably wouldn't be so confident. Does that make sense? Like I love what I do. I love what I can do. I know my ability in this area. And like I was talking to a friend the other day about the business aspects of the actual business, like the actual business part of it. And I'm like, I'm so terrible at that part. So play to your strengths, I guess.
Play to your strengths. Outsource the rest. Awesome. Going back to Instagram again. So what has changed tactically? So I know from the look of your business, it was very picture orientated at the very start, if you just look through.
Oh, yeah. So definitely.
Yeah, it was like aesthetic, drop down. Yeah, aesthetics was everything. What is everything now? What's going on?
Yeah, aesthetics definitely were everything back then. And I think also, not that you didn't have to try as hard, but it was more of an art form. And now I feel like you have to not only be an artist, but you have to like have a story to tell. And you have to have all these extra little things that you didn't have to have before. I don't know. I think it's changed so much that they want more rawness, I think, as well.
Okay.
It's very hard. There's a fine line because I feel like people are on two sides, and one side is we still love the aesthetics and we want to keep it that way. And the other side is we want people that we can relate to, so the messiness helps. So I think it's kind of all intertwined that, and that's really hard to navigate with the way Instagram is now.
Yeah, totally. I think brands are really struggling with that. Before you could fake it pretty easily. I could run 4 different brands from different worlds and be like, that's what this kind of brand looks like. That's what this kind of brand looks like. And now it's, oh, no, I have to be in front of a camera, or now I have to tell a story. It's so much harder to tell a story in video format, which is it. Would you say video format that's basically what we need to be doing now?
Yeah, 100%.
It's everything.
Yeah, it is everything. And that has dramatically changed and made it, I would say, harder for people. It's a lot more time consuming than snapping a picture, and I also think it's a lot more of that rawness, and that's really hard to navigate as well, because like I said, there's a fine line of oversharing, sharing the right amount. So
oversharing sometimes is what gets you the views though.
This is true. And I do think that a lot of people would use that to their advantage.
Totally.
And you see that in influencers a lot. They would be using that oversharing as an advantage. It totally depends. And I think, you have to pick your lane to decide what you're going to be and focus on that and not think about what is cool or hip or going to get you the views. Just be authentically you, and then hopefully those people find you.
Yeah. How does that play out in your day-to-day? So are you constantly thinking up content, writing it down, or like getting ideas, or is it just literally on the fly, I'm so authentic that I could just pull my phone out and start?
Oh, no, you definitely have planning, but I think also it's definitely a combination of both for me. And I would say that because the business has had a downturn, obviously because of COVID, which we're going to talk about as well, you have to reevaluate those kind of things. So there is a lot of content planning, but there also is on the fly, and it depends on what lane you've chosen. So for me, I work best under pressure as well. So doing some more on the fly content seems to help me because it's more authentic to who I am. But then I also have to pre-plan a lot of content as well. So it's definitely a mixed bag. And I think that's what's made Instagram more difficult to use as a tool.
Do you have a marketing calendar?
I don't. No.
You don't?
No.
Just, it's all in here.
And it's so funny because I was just saying this to a friend. I'm like, everything is already in here. I just need to get it out just in case somebody says to me, like, what's happening here? I'm like, I know what's happening. And I think that's probably that being a solo business at the moment. I don't have anybody else to answer to. So that kind of in my favor with my personality as well. But when we did have staff prior to COVID, that was definitely a hurdle for me to get over and be able to have, okay, this is the plan, guys. Like, yeah.
I definitely encourage everyone to try and get a marketing calendar. I've got a free one. I'll put a link on this.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So my quick background, I help scale a brand up to basically 8 figures. So 10 million plus a year, but I can't give everything else away.
Yeah.
So help scale a brand. We absolutely destroyed it. They're crushing it now still. Hopefully I can get them on here one day and we can talk about that journey. But one of the cool things that I really didn't respect when I first was kind of jumping into the team and was just working with them is they had a marketing calendar and they had an awesome plan for what was coming up and everything, and that was allowing them to basically coordinate so much stuff, heaps of staff doing all these different things, and it just made also running campaigns and everything, it just made everything work so well, and it was just beautiful. It took me about 6 months to realize that it was really important to have a marketing calendar.
Yeah, and this is like where I need you, Ty. This is where I need you to kick my butt and be like, yes, this is where you're going wrong.
Get a calendar.
Yeah, okay, get a calendar.
It'll make your life easier. It will make your life easier. I'm actually thinking about building one. So here's a bit of an inside scoop, everyone. I was talking to someone today. I'm thinking about building some technology that should automate and populate a calendar for your entire year. I've already experimented with it with like ChatGPT and all the new AI stuff, and it freaking rocks. Like the early versions of it, it took me 10 minutes. I'm like, man, this is going to be sick. So stay tuned, everybody, for that. Hopefully I can get that to everyone.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah. I'm excited for it too. I won't promise anything. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but
no,
I think I can.
You are. You put it out there now. The universe has it, so it's going to happen. And if you don't do it, you've already put it out in the universe, so somebody else will snatch it up. So you have
Someone will. Well, I don't care. They can snatch it up.
Follow that.
Yeah, someone's got to do it, please. It'll help a lot of businesses.
Yeah.
So looking back, like going back to 2015, mum, kids, struggling through everything and trying to figure out your way. Is this a business? Is this not? Is this a little side gig or whatever? What do you wish someone would have told you when starting out this business?
That it wasn't going to be easy.
You thought it was easy? Going to be easy?
I didn't think it was. No, not that it was not going to be easy. I think you have to know. I think it's that business side of it, like that there'll be ups and downs, and you have to ride those waves of the business. That's what I mean by not being easy. Yeah, there'll be bumps along the way that you didn't know were going to happen. COVID for one, you know, we couldn't plan for that.
There'll be highs, super high highs.
And super low lows. And I think nobody tells you that. I didn't get told that part anyway.
It happens in every business.
Yeah.
Across every niche. All the ones that you think are absolutely destroying it. I'm telling you right now, there is no brand. I'm sure there's a couple of brands, but most people are hurting.
They're magic
from the economy.
Are they, those ones?
Yeah. Or, you know, like maybe they've invented a product that the whole world needs. Like those guys, which are pretty unicorny kind of brands. They don't really exist. There's not many of them. yeah, most people are hurting, and most people, I just want to encourage everyone, it's okay to be just sustaining your business right now. Would you agree as well, Jess?
Oh,
Like an
100%.
encouragement. It's okay to sustain.
Yeah.
Like not even be moving forwards, as long as if you're being okay through this year, just get through the year. Yeah. I guarantee on the other side, you'll be loving it, because a lot of people will give up through these tough times for sure.
Yeah, and we're already seeing it, aren't we? Already seeing lots of great brands and lots of great businesses closing or selling or moving on.
Yeah.
And yeah, nobody told you that part. Nobody told you that there would be downs and highs. And yeah, unfortunately, we're just on the down at the moment. Yeah,
let's talk about COVID and maybe a little bit of behind the scenes there. What are you guys
so we obviously we had planned to upscale, obviously, prior to we were on our up of scaling for our brand, and I had staff and I had a warehouse, and we were all on the up. And then COVID hit and we didn't know what was going to happen next. And that was kind of hard to navigate because you didn't know what was going to happen, and they kept talking about COVID like not being great for businesses. But in the thick of it, we were actually doing really well. So it was funny because looking back, you can't believe how well you did during that time. But I think
when you say really well, how well? Will you tell us?
No, I won't tell you.
All good. All good.
Definitely better than expected.
Jess told me behind the scenes, and it honestly incredible. Like they really destroyed it last year. Super proud of you.
Definitely worked. I would say not last year, the year before. So yeah, we've had COVID hangovers for going on our second year now. So yeah, we've been talking about that COVID hangover of how we were waiting for that to kind of hit. And it's definitely well and truly hit now, which we're seeing in the economy. You just have to open a newspaper to see that. Do people open newspapers anymore? Wow, that made me sound really old. I mean, open your phone. The actual high of COVID, we're hitting the down of that now. So it's that after, we're calling it the COVID hangover. So we've had to make a lot of changes. I don't have any staff at the moment. Obviously, we'd like to build that back up, but at the moment, I've just taken it back to basics. We got rid of some of our overheads, including a warehouse, and scaled right back. And I think that was a great decision for us. And I'm probably sure there's a lot of brands that wish they did the same.
Yeah, awesome. Congrats on having the guts to make those moves.
It would
have been tough.
And that was not easy either. That hurts your ego a little bit.
Yeah. What about staff? Letting go of people too?
I would imagine that is not fun. So yeah, and I was lucky enough that I had only a couple of staff and they were really understanding at the time. I couldn't imagine having, I've heard of businesses with letting go of 40 staff members. That would just hurt your soul.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just lucky that we were small already and we just went a little bit smaller. So we weren't as big as we hoped to be by that time. But we were on the up, and then we've realized you've got to scale back and then try again.
Yeah, well done. Honestly, it definitely wouldn't have been easy going through that journey.
Not at all, yeah.
Something I've noticed is you do know your customer well. And I'm sure that's through the way you've built your business. Like you are literally talking to your customer all the time. And a lot of business owners wouldn't have, I guess, that opportunity to be as close to their customers as you are. And honestly, one of the things that I've realized as I've spoken to you previously already, I know that you know your customer and you know where your product fits in like the line of, okay, we've got kids clothing, you're a specialty brand. You're more of a upmarket specialty brand. And you started talking to me about the fact that people are probably cutting back on certain costs through this COVID time. And you believe that one of the costs would be like buying specialty items for their kids. And are you able to talk to me about that? Like, what's your thoughts around your product and how people are interacting with it? Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it funny? Like I totally said to you, I'm not a business person, but then I know all that about my business. So
you do.
Technically, I know something, right? I shouldn't be so hard on myself. I think that when economy goes the way it is going, we do have to look at what we can still keep doing. And I guess for my particular brand, I understand because I am a family of 5, I understand how families are suffering at the moment. And then that makes me really look at my brand and go, okay, what can my brand still offer to people? And is that a redirection, or is that offering different pieces or focusing on other areas of our business? And one of them is obviously our accessories. And I think that's something that we could probably keep offering over this lull period. So I really kind of look at the business and see what our customers are doing. And if at the moment, obviously there's a downturn on spending, but we can still offer something for a better price and still get the same effect for the customer. So that whole feeling, having your little kid for us is to look a certain way, obviously, and look really cute. So those little pieces will help and still make, I guess, we like to make mums feel good, and buying stuff helps us. Let's be honest, I'm a mum too, and I love buying stuff. So I guess because I'm in that situation, I kind of know how my customers would be feeling, and that helps me determine what I should do in the business as well.
I love that you're not blaming your customers. That is what a lot of business owners do, is when things get tough, they start blaming customers. And honestly, it is the most stupid thing ever. It literally doesn't help anyone, doesn't help the people around you, doesn't help your staff, your business. Your customers don't want it. They can sense it when they're like just getting thrown sales at them, like, why aren't you buying, kind of thing. Yeah. But instead you're actually thinking strategically. Like, you might not think that you're doing business like minded thoughts, but you are like thinking strategically. I just want to encourage you with that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I guess being a family of 5 myself, I know exactly what's happening out in the world, and I have the effects of that as well. So I guess that's how I know my customer, is because I would be my customer. And I probably work a bit too much from my heart and not from my head, but hopefully that helps me and makes my community want to purchase from me.
Yeah. Well, your heart is it sounds like your heart is actually the business's heart. So that's a good thing, I think.
Yeah.
It might not be good on
the business point of view.
Well, like work-life balancey things, like those kind of conversations. I don't know, relationships and things like that, friends, family, because you bring your business with you. But I actually don't think there's such thing as work-life balance. My wife hates it when she says that, when I say that to her.
I have to actually agree there is no such thing. And anybody that says there is lying, because they're failing in some area of their life. Yeah, I actually wholeheartedly believe that with you. There's no such thing. You cannot do it all. And you're always going to be down on one area of your life and up in another. So
totally. I like to think of life as like a juggling act. So you've got all these balls, you've got business, you've got family, kids, all these things. But some of the balls bounce and some smash, you know? And it's okay. Well, they're all going up and down all the time. Like sometimes they got highs and lows and everything, but you've got to actually catch some of them. If you don't catch those ones, you're done, kind of thing. And it's just making sure that you're catching and throwing the right ones at the right times.
I love that. I love that so much, because that is so spot on. Yeah. And there's definitely ones that you drop and they smash and you try and put them back together.
Good luck. Some of them you can't. Yeah, you have to just go buy some more.
Some of them you have to move on.
Go find some more balls. Some of them you've actually got to throw, I think, as well.
Some of them are more important than what they really are. Yeah, I totally get it. Yeah, I think that's a great analogy.
Awesome. Okay, so 2023's here. Things are looking a little bit bleaker for a lot of brands. What are you doing? What are you focusing on as a business? You've already told us, so you're going to products are probably a bit more affordable. However, you've also told me that you are an exclusive-y kind of brand. Like, you're not like when I say I want to sell affordable products, it doesn't mean I'm going to sell them at 70% off.
Yeah.
You've kind of positioned your products in a way that, like, okay, so I'm going to put these products at the top and the other products maybe sit down here for a year or so.
Yeah.
Is that true? Am I kind of
getting the idea? I think we have cut back on collections this year. We've cut back on styles this year. We've cut back on our whole winter collection as well. So I think just making those small cutbacks to make sure that we can sustain this year, like you were talking about, just getting through, is what we want to do. And I'm not a pushy person. I don't like to push people to buy my stuff. I want them to love it. So I guess that at a business point of view is going, okay, what's going to make us get through without hurting us as well. So it's a very fine line, and definitely a juggling act at the moment that we've been doing. But yeah, just trying to focus on still creating that community. So for example, we've been really focusing on our hair accessories at the moment. I've sent out I have a couple of brand reps that we just got on board that are real life stay-at-home mums that have kids. I've sent them some hair products and they've been creating some content with like little girls' hairstyles, for example, which builds our community back up. So we're also thinking, how do we get our brand still out there to new customers? And this is one of the ways that we are. And that's offering a small price product, but also the education part of it of how to use that particular product on your little girl.
Awesome.
So that's been really
And if that's done in an aesthetic way, like that's just going to get boosted through Reels. Hang on, talk to me. So is Reels the thing? Is that what everyone should be focusing on right now if they're in the Instagram world?
I hate saying yes because I hate Reels.
Yeah.
But definitely, I've noticed recently, I've definitely been creating more Reels for my customers and for my brand because they are what we're watching. There's so many things that go into that though. You know, videos can't be more than 7 seconds long. We have to be engaging. We have to offer some education or it be entertaining. You either offer education or you offer entertainment, or you can do both if you can get that way. So it's really like playing to what the people are wanting at the moment, and I think definitely Reels is where it's at. And I have noticed when I post Reels in comparison to when I post static images, the difference. And it's when you look at a static post and it's got 200 people have liked it or whatever, I always like to think if I had a store and 200 people walked in, wow, how amazing would that be? So trying, even though the numbers are...
That's great.
Yeah, and then like now with Reels, like you get 40,000 people viewing it. How would that be if 40,000 people walked into an actual physical store? So I think the more people you can get seeing your brand, the better. So if that means doing Reels, then that's what you do.
Yeah, awesome. Is there any tips on when you're creating Reels? So do you just create them and just let them do their thing, or do you have some kind of call to action in them to try and bring them back to your brand or anything like that? Or
that whole call to action is so super new to me because before, in the old Instagram world, you didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
You just had to be aesthetically pleasing and people loved you.
This is something I was going to bring up with you, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's definitely been tricky for me.
Yeah.
That whole part of it. But yeah, I think the call to action is so new to me that I actually don't know how to use it properly, and probably something that I need to work on myself. And this would be also translated into moving over to TikTok as well, which I've heard.
TikTok rocks. Yeah,
which I haven't been doing. But I have, after talking to you the other week, I have started posting on there. So I'm like, taking it slow.
You might as well. You're already creating Reels. So Reels go everywhere. If you create it for one, you got Reels, you've got YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts is going to be massive. It might take, like I guarantee your audience, every audience is on YouTube too. And we just don't realize it. We think of it as more of an educational platform. I've been posting stuff on YouTube Shorts and it's been doing really well. Yeah. And they're only going to get better. So I definitely would repurpose this. You've got this content. You literally just got to repost it on Shorts, TikTok, Reels, and Facebook is the other massive one. Have you posted anything on Facebook?
No, I need you to help me.
Okay, so Facebook is great for Reels as well.
I have to say, the whole being on everything, I think, is another struggle with a lot of us who just started on Instagram, because you only needed one platform before, and now you can't just have the one. So I think that's definitely a struggle for some of our older brands that are on there.
For sure.
Which is definitely something that I struggle with.
Reels has definitely helped, because if you create a reel, it's like the same format everywhere else. Yeah. Whereas before, you kind of had different formats on different things. Like YouTube, you needed a long form video, and TikTok, you needed a reel basically. But now reels are on Instagram.
Instagram, yeah.
So you kind of only need to make one piece of content, and you can just flick it out to all four. Yeah. If you wanted to. It's just kind of getting through your head like how each one of they're very similar. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm sure there's like platforms out there where you can just pop it in and it goes
everywhere. Yeah.
Which would be sick. That's what I actually need to find that. I'll find it somewhere.
Find that. Find that and tell me.
Yes, please. But I definitely recommend posting on others. And then I was going to help you. So with the call to action on the end, I do feel like a lot of brands are are scared to say something at the end of all of their like aesthetically pleasing visuals or whatever.
Yeah.
I honestly would say something, but it doesn't have to be like buy my product.
Yeah.
It can be like found at blah blah blah.
Okay.
Found at blah blah blah. And it's as simple as that. Found at Bonnie and Harlo. But you could make a little symbol. I don't know if you've ever seen, I hate to say this because I'm not the biggest fan, but Gary V.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he'll post something and just at the end, there'll be like his like little logos like and it'll pop up. It's like, okay, cool. But you could do your own one. Found at Bonnie Harlo. And it's like at the end. And it's as simple as that. You don't have to change your aesthetics or anything. It could be just that last little thing.
Yeah.
And what it's doing is it's just 40,000 people that see found at Bonnie and Harlo. That is powerful. But 40,000 people that see like bunny ears getting done, not quite as powerful. They're going to have to do a lot more of a discovery process to find out who you are and everything like that.
Yeah, I think we're chatting about how people are quite lazy these days. You have to give them information. We have to, on a silver platter, here it is.
You do, definitely. And Facebook and Instagram. Really? Facebook and Instagram are building more tools for this stuff as well. So I'm pretty sure you'll find reels soon that will products attached to it. Like you'll see like down the bottom and it'll be like,
I think you can tag products already.
But there you go. That's probably all you need to do.
Yeah, I'm sure you can tag products
okay, cool.
At the moment, yeah. But there's probably more to it, but I just don't know.
Yeah, I would be tagging, and I definitely would recommend people have a call to action at the end. It doesn't need to be salesy. It doesn't need to be like, buy this now, 30% off or anything like that. It can be 10% off first purchase if you want it to be. A lot of people use like TikTok 10 or whatever. Like they'll put a code
have
up,
that code,
at the end. And that is a really good way to kind of track things, but it's also a good way to prompt to the person, I can buy this thing. It just doesn't look cute. I can actually buy it.
Yeah.
So definitely something like the reason why I think it's an easy win for you is because your videos are awesome and they do go viral. Like it's not easy to get 20,000, 40,000 views. So that should be a quick little win.
Yeah.
And the other crazy thing is you're doing this all organically. You can easily turn those into ads. Like easily. You don't have to make some crazy, scary... I need you to look up my
Facebook ads manager.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how to use it.
All you need to do... So if you grab that video, you grab the one that hits 40,000, and then you might not even have the call to action on that one, but you just kind of repurpose... You pull it off, and then you just add to the end, found it, Bonnie and Harlo. And then imagine that's just a Facebook ad now. Facebook ads work way better than everywhere else.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely something I'd look into. Or just boosting. You can boost through Instagram.
Yeah.
It's not what I normally recommend.
Yeah.
But it will work, boosting, as long as you've got this call to action on the back end.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're wasting your money on like a boost. Who cares? So put your money into something that has a start, finish, and like an end. This is what I want you to do somehow. Yeah. It can be subtle.
We definitely need to chat a little bit about the Facebook thing.
Awesome. All right, so let's get into this a little bit. So we'll talk about for opportunities and things like that. So people who are listening, they don't have visual, so I'm not going to dive too much into visual stuff. I'll just run through what I see on your website, and I'll probably move quick in this space. So this is just quick, ties 2 cents on, I had a little bit of time and I had to look through Bonnie and Harlo.
Yeah.
But one of the things I did do was I looked at your Facebook ads and they suck, to be honest.
Yeah.
But that's completely fine. That's good. You're doing well. You've done amazing, but without that. And to me, that is mind blowing how you've been able to build a brand without putting money into it to amplify everything. Because that's all I know. That's my thing. Is I run ads and we turn $1 into $2, that's kind of the way. But honestly, if you can do it organically, that is incredible. I definitely think if you can turn your organics into paid ads, you could very well be in a whole new ballgame of business there. Because you understand visual and telling stories. If people want to learn how to visually tell stories through something as, don't get offended, but as boring as clothes, it's like this shirt doesn't have...
That's so funny that you said that, because I have discussed with other people this whole new way of having to sell.
Yeah.
Is so interesting because, like, how do you make a piece of clothing entertaining or educational?
Exactly. I love that. And you make a really good point. Like, a lot of people just throw things up there and they expect people to buy and watch. Yeah. So, well, no, you actually need to tell a story. You need to take people through a process and something at the end, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, you already do it. You already do a really good job. So you're just missing like that last little bit on the end of traffic. Go here.
The salesy part.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be salesy, because like what you want to do is reframe I'm being salesy to I'm helping people.
Yeah.
So as long as you're doing education and you're delivering like really good content and you're delivering a lifestyle that you know that mums want to have, you don't have to feel bad when you sell a product. You can ask for money at the end.
Yeah.
Like people already want it. You're just helping them.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So I spied on your ads, definitely a lot of work that can be done there.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. I can point you in a few different directions. I definitely recommend, in your position, you're a one-woman show right now. And things are quieter. I definitely would be trying to learn this little Facebook ad skill set, because it's not hard to do. And I want to encourage everyone, it's actually not hard to run at Facebook ads.
Yeah.
You just do it with really small budgets at the start, like $5 or $10 a day, and you just see what clicks, what doesn't click.
Yeah.
And over time, you just grow things that aren't clicking and things that are clicking.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. That's it in a nutshell. Obviously, there's like how to set up your manager and things like that. I'm not that good at that. I fumble through it every time I start a new ad account and stuff.
Yeah.
I use YouTube a lot. So yeah, I definitely recommend looking at your ads and turning your reels into ads, not static images into ads, which is what you have right now.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's take a look at your website. Okay. So first things first, I noticed is that I have no idea what the heck you're selling.
Great.
Yeah, so you haven't told me anything. I'm guessing, like you're basically assuming that I know what you are selling and why I should buy it from you. And this is a mistake that tons of businesses make. They just think as soon as you get to a website that you should know why you're here and you should buy from me. Now, that kind of works when you've got an epic, strong community, which you do, which is awesome. So that's why you're still successful despite these things. Yeah. I'm not saying your business is going to explode because you're making these changes on your website. But I definitely recommend straight away in the first glimpse and the first 3 seconds of looking at your website, I should know what you're selling. Yeah. So I would say something like kids clothing for starters. So it's kids clothing. Yeah. I'm just guessing it is, which is great. So kids clothing, but then adding your story to it. So why is your clothing unique? Why is it special? What's the words you're already using elsewhere? I found a section in the About Us page. Oh, down here. So for dancing in meadows, running through the fields and playing in the dappled light. Like that's really cool. That's awesome storytelling. And I would boost that up here and put it front and center. So kids clothing for dancing in meadows, running through the fields and playing dappled light. And I'd also think of that visually, like how can you show that visually? And you're already pretty much doing that. So that's cool. Like your pictures are already doing that. You don't have to, you're authentic. Which is awesome. So that's something I definitely would change. Making sure that you're looking through the lens of a customer who has no freaking idea who Jess is or Bonnie and Harlo. That's going to really help you with ads or traffic that is cold to your website. So all of your paid traffic, that'll help with. But then it'll also help with if you are going viral on like Instagram or wherever on Reels, and then they flick over to your website. It's okay, well, I don't know what you're selling really. I'm going to have to do some research and figure this out. Yeah. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I basically need like a magnifying glass to figure out what the heck I'm looking at when it comes to that's all right. Honestly, this is on so many businesses. So you've got this like the certain, I don't know, Pantone colors that make it like, I don't know, they fit really well with your branding and everything like that. Yeah. I definitely would rethink maybe font, either size and weight or color. I have no idea. And I know it's really hard for people to think that through sometimes, but I guarantee people are getting lost on your website and they can't see this. So no one would see shop clearance.
Okay.
I don't know. And especially, this isn't even the right way to do this. What we're supposed to be doing is looking at it on mobile. So I'm going to flick it down to mobile. It's
probably even harder.
Most of your audience, most of your audience will be mobile. And I still I can kind of read it. Yeah. And search, you wouldn't be able to see that search. You would just kind of skip over it. Yeah, okay. So you've got to think of it like your grandma's looking at it, you know? If she has to squint, people are just so lazy when it comes to internet now,
Yeah.
digital marketing. They need it handed on a silver platter. So that's a few changes. Now, the next thing is I would really think about what you are hitting me with, like the call to action as soon as I hit your website. What's the most important thing for me to see? And right now you're telling me the most important thing is to shop Delilah collection. And you know what? That could be the most important thing, but I'm guessing it may not be, because of the strategy and the things that we've talked about before, that you're trying to lead people towards, I guess, handing them on a silver platter, like products that are probably more affordable or accessories or those kind of ranges. It's okay to still have, our latest styles and new arrivals and things like that. But you've just got to really think about when someone hits your site, they actually don't scroll most of the time. They go straight to the first button that they see. And the other thing is, like, a returning customer, they know where to look as well. So you don't really need to make your business all about that returning customer. At the very start, you want to kind of just get people to the credit card, You got to get them to the checkout. So what is that? Your best hit, put that forwards first. So maybe best sellers, the one headband that absolutely dominates everything else, the headband that make you famous. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Put that front center and then send people through to the checkout and then upsell them along the way. We can talk about that. But yeah, and the next thing I'd look at is Bonnie Harlo at the top here. I definitely would shrink this logo, just on mobile at least, because it's just taking up a lot of real estate and you want to bring everything up. So if you've got your best sellers, you want to make that easy and like a nice big button that you can click, and then new arrivals or I don't know, your next accessories and stuff like that. You don't want people to have to scroll if they, Now, the next thing I was going to say is you're really good at visual storytelling on Instagram, but not so much on your website. I would definitely be telling some kind of story here, if you can. Like, I get it, like, why shop with us, affordable? To be honest, I don't know if affordable is like your biggest draw card. I don't shop with you because you're affordable. I shop with you because I want my kids to, just sparkle when they put these outfits on. It's okay to still have affordable.
I love that though. That's so true.
Yeah, that's why I'm shopping with you. I want my kids. And the other thing is the rule of thumb when it comes to writing copy for websites is make it about the customer, not just about you. So don't make it just factual. Make it about like your kids shining, your kids looking amazing, your kids running through the fields or something like that. Like, it's just, you're speaking to a person. So you would do it when you're talking on Instagram naturally. But then when we build websites and things like that, I don't know why, but we naturally go back to not having that human connection as much. So I definitely would recommend like bringing in a bit more human connection and thinking about the story on your store. So I'm just going to go through and I'll look at a product. I'm just going to click this product here. Cool. Now, it's really hard to read still. So it's that, what do you call it when you've got like that type of color? I don't know. You just don't have contrasty color that pop and stand out. It's really hard to read. So you might want to pull out like one of these darker oranges or something like that. I don't know, to try and make it a bit easier to read. Now, this as well is a perfect spot for you to be telling story again. So like I've gone to the girls' Delilah dress for everybody at home. And it's super cute. There's a kid wearing it. It just looks amazing. And I'm sure you've got like awesome videos and a great photo shoot about this. But what you could do is turn the product page into that little story as well. So make it feel like it's my kid that could be wearing this and enjoying the smiles and, jumping through the fields and everything like that. But I definitely would tell more story when it comes to your products on your store. I see you've got like a receive 15% off thing at the bottom. This is good. However, it's hard to read again. It's optimized for desktop. So the pop-up that comes up. Now, there's a huge fight in the website optimization world, which is get rid of all pop-ups because they annoy customers. To be honest, I'm a pop-up fan when they're done well. And they're like instant. They just feel right. So like 15% off your first order, that's fine. I've seen massive brands doing that. Completely fine, 15% off your first order. However, I would rethink how it looks because it's just kind of harder to read. And yeah, I definitely would look at that. And I'd also think about adding SMS in here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you use
Yeah,
SMS.
I do need
Have
to
you
set
used it?
that up.
You
I
do?
have heard that this is like the new
Yeah.
thing.
SMS converts like crazy.
Okay.
A lot of brands that I've worked with have used Wheelio, which is, people think it's super corny, but the thing that pops out the side of the screen is like a game.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Wheelio.
Wheelio.
I know the guy who invented it, and he's an absolute legend, and it is the highest converting pop-up I've ever seen, ever. It's always higher converting than every other pop-up that I ever see. And it also integrates with SMS Bump, or like the SMS apps out there, and email. And it just works so well. So it's play the game, you win 10% off or something like that, your first order.
Okay. Like a,
kind of fun. Yeah, it's like spinny wheel. You can make it cutesy. So you don't have to use that. I'm just saying.
it's an idea. Yeah.
Like, some brands aren't super keen on it. They think it's corny, but I don't know. It works really well. And the next thing I was going to ask, so that we've got the pop-up, definitely would optimize that. The product page, so the receive 15% off, that button draws like all of my attention, and the add to cart button doesn't.
Okay, yeah.
So I would rethink going, hey, maybe I need the add to cart button to be that color, because it's like dark and contrasty, stands out a lot more. Yeah, so a few little tweaks there. Tell your story. You're really good at telling story everywhere else.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to say is you could use Tolstoy. Have you heard of Tolstoy?
No.
So because you're such a story, like you're good at video and being on camera, I would definitely look at using Tolstoy, which is like a little like visual pop up in the corner that is you, like a little picture of you and a video. And you can basically guide people through your products and your websites through a little quiz that's actually you. And it's really easy to set up.
Okay, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually think you would really benefit from Tolstoy, especially you're already good in front of camera, and even like bringing your kids into it or whatever. I just think it would be super cool. So have a look at Tolstoy, definitely. So I'm going to click cart. This is the next thing I noticed. You have this epic cart, which is obviously my cart, but you've got a double cart showing up. So there's a bug here.
Okay,
and we can easily fix it, but it's just something that happens on some themes when you haven't turned off the original themes cart. I definitely, you just want to get that fixed. So you got a double cart going on, which is going to confuse customers a little bit for sure. Cool. There's different things you could try with this cart. I would definitely have a look at using free gifts to try and increase average order value. You might have heard of it. It's kind of going crazy. Like every big brand is now using free gifts to increase average order value. And there's a reason why. It's because it really works. And it's not as spammy discounty as a lot of other things like 10% off, 20% off, 50% off. It's okay to do discounts, but free gifts are like a value add. And when you get given something, like you feel more attached. So you're attached to the community, or you're attached to the brand. So it's cool to get free gifts. The other cool thing about free gifts as well, and why I'm such a big advocate, is because you can still tell more story as well with gifting. So you can change it like once a month, and it just gives you another talking point with your brand. And you can also add scarcity. So things like, how you see like a countdown timer, like sale ends today kind of thing. Well, you don't have to be that spammy. If you use gifting, you say like this week only, you get this with every purchase. And what it does, it adds scarcity to your website without you needing to be super spammy and devaluing your brand. Cool?
That makes sense.
Yeah. But that's definitely something I would look at is using gifting. And I'm sure you've got accessory products that you can probably play around with that. Yeah. I don't need to go to the checkout because I'm sure checkout is the same as all other Shopify checkouts. They're all the same. The other thing I was going to ask that I'm just kind of prodding now. How do you go with email?
I don't do it very often.
You don't do it very often?
No.
All right, sweet. That's an awesome opportunity.
Yeah.
Email should bring in 20% of your revenue.
Wow.
It should.
Okay.
So most brands, it will be more than that. But for a healthy brand, it is like a minimum 20%. And the reason why it's so important to get your email game strong and be good is because a lot of brands focus on like that 20% is actually what the profit is of their business most of the time. Because acquiring a customer is really hard, but every time you sell a person a second, third, fourth, fifth time, that's like pure profit most of the time. And Yeah. Would you say, what's your email game now? Do you know your percentage or not quite sure?
Like I send one email a month. Like it's
That's
terrible.
so
This is it's
if I can tell you anything, this could be the one thing that takes your business
yeah.
to a different level.
Yeah.
It sounds lame. You are an incredible storyteller. You just need to be an incredible emailer as well.
Yeah.
And tell your story through email. It's where you own your audience. So it's the only channel you actually truly own. You don't own Instagram because Instagram can change tomorrow. They can shut you down tomorrow.
Exactly.
They can do whatever the heck they want. Email is the only channel you actually own. And it's the moneymaker for most businesses that are doing well and really know their email game.
I can tell you my customer return rate.
Customer return rate? Yeah, what is it?
Sitting about like 55%.
That's amazing. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So that is awesome.
Yeah.
Really good.
It's actually for the last 3 months, it's at 62%. So
wow. Okay. Yeah. You've got to get your email game.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that also acquiring new people, that's the Facebook ad targeting that I probably need to work on most, is targeting new people to the brand.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Targeting new people. But I'm telling you now, your ad game, so spending money on the front and doing all of that, it all gets easier and amplified when you've got your email sorted on the back end. So you build out your story, and it's not super hard. So what you want to do is think of it the same way as you're doing like your Instagram. Like you're coming up with ideas like, okay, so I don't know, just everything you already do on Instagram, like just do the same thing on email.
Yeah, so pretty much like you can recycle that content as well onto like a step-by-step on how to do a kid's hairstyle using our products.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can even tell the story like one of our partners, or like, I don't know if you want to call them partners, but you can come up with some other name like our Bonnie family. One of our Bonnie family made this cute video, blah, 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 blah. It's on Instagram. Thought we'd share it here too. By the way, this is where you can get it. You know, like that. It's as simple as that. And I definitely, like, you should be sending out an email a week minimum. Okay. Definitely. Yeah. At least an email a week. If you are, and it doesn't have to be selling. It can be educational, like you were talking about before. So it can be educational, entertaining, then sell on the third email. And then the fourth email, I don't know, come back and do something else again. But the selling could be like, have you seen our new collection? And then on the fourth week though, it's like, oh, by the way, that collection has a free gift that we spoke about. Yeah. So it's things like that. It's about selling without being too salesy. But I definitely recommend work on your email game. That will be an easy win for you. And you can build out like a weekly newsletter, but then also make sure that have you got like your abandoned cart stuff sorted with email?
Yeah, I do, but I need to overhaul them. But I do have them up there,
Yeah, so get your abandoned cart, get your welcome. But like the welcome series is super important as well. So that's when people have signed up to your email. They may not have even purchased from you. But that welcome series, if you can run one for 2 months, so everyone who signs up to your email gets put through like this big funnel of who Bonnie and Harlo is, what matters, like why do we care, what do we stand for, and who am I? And here's my family. If you can build out a story that everyone goes through, that's super powerful. Yeah. So I definitely recommend that because you're already good at storytelling. I just think it's just a medium that you could easily jump onto with email. And what do you use for email?
Klaviyo.
Yeah, sweet. So Klaviyo's got everything there ready to go. You should be able to build it out pretty easily. So email. And this is probably where having the marketing calendar might help as well. It's because like it helps with planning like email stuff.
Email, definitely.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about education, then I'm going to talk about this, then I'm going to talk about this. And you can do it all in one day, like plan, 3 months worth of just one every week or something. Yeah, so it just gives you, definitely huge opportunity, email and SMS as well. Honestly, you have done really well with organic. And it's okay to build a business organically. It's completely fine. You don't have to run Facebook ads and everything like that. And I think you're on the right track. I don't believe Facebook ads they're probably not going to be this thing that unlocks this insane growth right now. Yeah. Just because the reality of the world right now is just, It's a bit of fun. And things are going through cycles. It's tough. Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about or?
No, I think we've been talking for ages.
Yeah, we have. It's awesome. Just chin wagging.
And it's really time for me to go pick up the kids from school anyway, so.
Yeah, I got to roll too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, awesome. It's been fun to have you on, Jess. Awesome.
Cool. Thanks for having me. You've taught me lots of things to action.
Yeah. Well, let's see Bonnie and Harlo really crush it and get through this year.
Yeah.
Like it's tough out there. I just want to reiterate to the whole world and everyone who's listening that it is tough and it's okay to be surviving right now. Go for it. But yeah, it's a good time to kind of tweak everything.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. Thanks, Jess. Legend.
Thanks.
Have an awesome day. Thanks for coming on. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.